There comes a moment in every life when worry feels louder than faith, when fear sits heavy on the heart, and when it feels like the heavens have gone silent. You've prayed, you've waited, you've wept, and still the answer hasn't come. The road has been long, the nights have been endless. You've asked yourself, when will it happen for me? And right here in this very moment, God is whispering to your soul, relax, it's all coming your way. You may not see it yet, but heaven has already moved on your behalf. The very things you've been hoping for are already set in motion. The right doors, the right timing, the right connections, they're not delayed, they're being prepared. Sometimes God doesn't show you the process because he's building your patience to handle the promise. You see, what's meant for you can't be lost. It may take time. It may test your faith, but it can never be taken from you. When God ordains a blessing, no force in this world can stop it from finding you. So many people live trapped in a prison of anxiety, always wondering what's next, always worrying if things will work out. But let me tell you something powerful. Worry is the language of doubt. Peace is the language of faith. When you truly trust that God is in control, you stop chasing what's already yours. You stop fighting battles that are already won. You begin to rest, not because life is easy, but because you know who's orchestrating it all. The same God who painted the sunrise knows how to write your story. The same God who controls the wind and the waves is guiding your life. So why panic when the waves are? Why lose sleep over something that God already has in his hands? A delay you fear is not denial, it's divine preparation. Every unanswered prayer, every moment of silence, every detour that confused you is actually a setup for something greater. God never forgets his promise. What he said will come to pass in your life will come to pass. When you look back over your life, you'll realize that everything that broke you was also building you. Every setback carried a seed of strength. Every disappointment was making room for something new. And one day you'll thank God that it didn't happen when you wanted it to. Because when it does happen, you'll see that God's timing is perfect. His ways are higher, and his blessings never come half prepared. Maybe you've been in a waiting season and it feels endless. You've done everything right, but nothing seems to move. You see others being blessed, doors opening for them, while your life feels stuck in place. But here's what you must understand. Waiting is not waste. Waiting is where God shapes your faith, purifies your motives, and strengthens your character. When you're waiting, you're not forgotten. You're being refined. Do not let impatience rob you of what's coming. Do not let frustration push you into fear. When God says relax, it's not an invitation to be careless. It's an invitation to trust. God is saying, I've already prepared it. I've already spoken it. I've already written it into your destiny. All I ask of you is to rest in the very thing you're striving for may be the thing God wants to deliver to you effortlessly. Some of your greatest blessings won't come from your struggle. They'll come from your surrender. You don't have to chase what God has already promised. You don't have to beg for what's already been approved in heaven. You simply have to align your heart with peace and allow God to move in his timing. There's power in peace. There's strength in stillness. There's breakthrough in patience. When you stop fighting against time and start trusting God's plan, miracles begin to unfold naturally. Think about the moments when life fell apart, yet somehow you made it through. You didn't think you'd survive, but here you are. That's proof that God's hand has always been on you. Every storm that tried to drown you only proved that you were meant to rise high. Every closed door redirected you towards something better. Every delay protected you from something you couldn't yet see. So relax. Stop trying to figure out what only God can handle. Stop trying to rush what heaven is perfecting. The truth is, God is never late. You may be looking at the calendar thinking you've missed your chance, but God doesn't measure time like you do. He's eternal. He's sovereign. And when the time is right, he will make it happen without struggle, without confusion, without force. The blessing that's coming your way will be so perfectly timed that you'll stand in awe and say, only God could have done this. But you must guard your peace. Protect it like it's your greatest treasure, because it is. Anxiety can cloud your vision. Doubt can poison your faith. Fear can silence your spirit. Don't let your emotions lead you away from what God is doing behind the scenes. He is not inactive. He's invisible. You may not see the hand of God, but you will feel the results of his work when it manifests. The silence of God is not the absence of God. It's the sign that he's moving in ways that words can't describe. There's a certain kind of faith that looks at chaos and says, even now, God is working.
That's the kind of faith that moves mountains.
That's the kind of trust that unlocks miracles. You have to learn to rest in that. Rest doesn't mean giving up. It means giving over. It means saying, God, I trust you more than I trust what I see. I believe in your plan more than I fear my problems. You see, God allows pressure not to crush you, but to position you. Every struggle is shaping your spirit. Every challenge is deepening your faith. If life were easy, you would never learn how to lean on God. It's in the waiting and the stretching and the uncertainty that your faith grows roots. And once your faith is rooted, nothing can shake you again. When God says, relax, he's not ignoring your pain. He's reminding you of his promise. He's telling you, stop trying to carry what I already took care of. You were never meant to live in constant fear of the future. You were created to walk in peace, knowing that God is ahead of you, beside you, and within you. The blessing that's coming is already aligned with your path. The people you need to meet, the opportunities that are meant for you, they're already being drawn towards you. God's plan has no mistakes. Even the things that didn't work out were part of the design. Sometimes the door that closed was protection. Sometimes the person who left was direction. Sometimes the delay was God's way of saying, not yet. I'm building something greater. You have to trust that even when it doesn't make sense, it's still working for your good. You may think you've lost time, but God can restore it. You may think you've missed your opportunity, but God can reopen it. You may think it's too late, but God specializes in divine timing. He can take what seemed broken and turn it into beauty. He can turn what you thought was over into a new beginning. He can breathe life into what you thought was gone forever. There are seasons when everything feels like it's falling apart, but what's really happening is that things are falling into place. You may not understand it now, but one day you'll look back and see how every step, every tear, every moment of waiting was necessary. God is the master of alignment. He doesn't waste your pain. He transforms it. He doesn't forget your prayers. He fulfills them at the perfect time. So lift your head, take a deep breath, let go of what's behind you, and focus on what's ahead. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. The path you're walking is perfect. Even if you can't see it yet, and the blessing that's coming your way is not something small. It's something that will make you understand why the wait was so long, why the road was so hard, and why the silence was so deep. God has not forgotten you. He has not overlooked you. You are not invisible to him. You are being shaped by his unseen hand. Every day you choose peace over panic. Every time you choose trust over fear, you move closer to your breakthrough. It may not happen suddenly, but it will happen surely. And when it does, you won't have to fight for it. It will come to you naturally, effortlessly, undeniably, because what is meant for you will recognize you. The opportunity that's yours will find its way to you. The blessing that's yours will settle into your life in a way that leaves no question. It came straight from God. So if your heart is heavy tonight, if your mind is tired from the waiting, just remember this: God has not brought you this far to abandon you. He is faithful. He is constant. He is unshakable. The same power that created the stars is the power working in your life right now. It's not over. You're not forgotten. You're not behind. You're right where you need to be. The waiting season is not wasted. It's sacred. It's where you learn to hear God's voice clearly. It's where you learn to trust him without needing proof. And that kind of faith is what prepares you for the blessings that are coming. The reason it's taking time is because God is not just preparing the blessing, he's preparing you. Relax, because God knows what he's doing. The blessing will not be late. The breakthrough will not miss its moment. The promise will not fall through. It's all coming your way just as he said it would. And when it comes, you'll realize that God's timing wasn't slow. It was strategic. You'll see that every tear, every delay, every setback was leading you to something far greater than you ever imagined. God's plan for you is still on schedule. The storm you're facing is temporary, but the peace that's coming will be permanent. The confusion you feel now will soon be replaced by clarity. The pain that weighed you down will become the foundation of your strength. All God asks is that you relax and trust him. The moment you stop striving is the moment you start aligning. You're closer than you think. The things that seem far away are now drawing near. The answers that once felt distant are now approaching your life. Don't give up now. Don't let fear trick you into thinking nothing is happening. God works in silence. He builds in secret. And when he reveals what he's been preparing, it will be more than you asked for, more than you dreamed, more than you imagined. So be still. Let peace return to your heart. Let faith rise again in your soul. Everything you need is already on its way. Every promise is already in motion. God hasn't forgotten one word he spoke over your life, and soon you'll see that it was all worth it. The waiting, the praying, the tears, the silence. Because when God says relax, he's not telling you to give up. He's telling you to get ready. It's all coming your way. When God says relax, he's not dismissing your worries. He's inviting you to see life from his higher view. You are standing on the ground, but God is looking from above. You see confusion. He sees coordination. You see chaos. He sees construction. Every obstacle in front of you is part of a larger pattern that your eyes can't yet perceive. You may think you're going in circles, but God is aligning every turn with purpose. Sometimes he lets the storm rage because he knows the storm will push you exactly where you're meant to be. You must understand that faith is not proven in moments of comfort, but in moments of confusion. Anyone can trust when life is smooth, but real trust begins when you have no explanation, no evidence, no visible progress, and yet you still believe that God is working. That kind of trust shakes the heavens. That kind of faith draws blessings toward you. When you choose peace and uncertainty, you are telling the universe that your confidence rests in God alone. So stop questioning why things are taking so long. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Stop thinking you've fallen behind. You are not behind. You are being built. You are not delayed. You are being developed. Every season of your life serves a divine purpose. The calm seasons strengthen your gratitude. The hard seasons strengthen your endurance. God never leaves you in one place forever. He transitions you when your faith is matured enough to handle what's next. Some of you have been praying and asking, God, why am I still here? Why haven't things changed? But what you call a delay, God calls preparation. The moment you're ready internally, the blessing will manifest externally. God doesn't hand miracles to unprepared hearts. He perfects your patience before he releases your promise. And when you learn to rest in his plan, you'll discover that what you thought was waiting time was really training time. Don't misinterpret silence as neglect. When heaven is quiet, it means construction is underway. You can't see what's happening behind the scenes, but God is laying foundation. He's aligning resources, orchestrating meetings, setting divine appointments. He's removing the wrong people, refining your desires, and clearing paths you didn't even know existed. While you're worrying about what's not happening, God is shaping everything that will happen. And when it unfolds, it will happen suddenly, swiftly, and perfectly. There are blessings that can only come to the heart that has learned peace. Worry chases them away. Fear blocks their flow. But peace creates the atmosphere where miracles are born. Peace tells God, I trust you enough to rest. Peace says, I may not understand it, but I believe it's all under your control. And when you reach that point of surrender, things begin to shift because surrender doesn't weaken you. It positions you. It clears the clutter so Gary you'll love. Some people think they need to fight harder, pray louder, work longer. But God sometimes says, no, just be still. There's a difference between activity and alignment. You can be busy and still be out of rhythm with God. You can be running, but in the wrong direction. True faith knows when to move and when to wait. When you wait in faith, you're not standing still. You're standing ready. You're allowing God to bring the blessing directly to your hands without force, without exhaustion. There will be moments when life tests your peace. The bills will pile up. The relationships will stretch you. The future will seem unclear. In those moments, the enemy of peace is not your situation, it's your reaction. Don't let panic take the driver's seat. Pause and remind yourself, God is in charge of my story. He brought me here and he will bring me through. Faith doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means refusing to let fear control the narrative. God's plan for you is not fragile. It's not easily broken. No one can ruin what he has written. You may feel like you've made mistakes, taken wrong turns, or missed your opportunity. But God doesn't need perfection to perform his purpose. He can turn your wrong turns into right outcomes. He can transform your failures into favor. He can take the ashes of what you thought was lost and breathe new life into them. That's why you must relax. You're not powerful enough to ruin God's plan. The blessing that's coming your way is not ordinary. It's something designed specifically for your spirit, your path, your purpose. It's not a coincidence, it's a calling. And before it appears in your hands, it first grows in your heart. God is teaching you peace now because you'll need that peace to carry what's coming. If you don't master stillness in the storm, you won't have strength for the next season. That's why this lesson matters. Peace is not the absence of problems, it's the presence of truth. It's the unshakable confidence that God is not asleep, not distracted, not uncertain. He's fully aware of your pain, your prayers, your patience. You may not know how, but He's already working out the when. And when it all comes together, you'll see why the timing had to be this way. Because if it came sooner, you wouldn't be ready. If it came later, the opportunity might have passed. God's timing is not just perfect, it's protective. Let me tell you something powerful. When God says relax, He's not telling you to ignore reality. He's inviting you to rise above it. Faith doesn't deny what you see. It declares that what you see is not the final word. God's promise is the final word. You can face the facts and still rest in faith. You can acknowledge the storm and still trust that the waves will obey His command. Do you know what true strength looks like? It's not clenched fists and constant striving. It's calm confidence in the middle of chaos. It's the kind of peace that makes no logical sense, but somehow you know deep inside it's going to be okay. That's what happens when your soul aligns with God's truth. You stop panicking and you start praising. You stop doubting and you start expecting. That shift changes everything. There's a level of peace that becomes a magnet for blessings. When your heart is still, God can speak clearly. When your spirit is calm, guidance flows freely. You start noticing signs, opportunities, confirmations that you missed when you were anxious. God is always communicating, but you can't hear Him over the noise of your own worry. That's why He keeps telling you, be still. Because peace isn't weakness, it's spiritual clarity. Don't mistake God's pace for an activity. The delay is part of divine design. God is never in a hurry, yet He's never late. What He's preparing for you will arrive when it aligns perfectly with every detail of your destiny. And when it does, you'll realize that every waiting moment was an investment, not a loss. You'll see that the very things that frustrated you are working in your favor. You've got to stop thinking small. The reason the wait feels long is because the blessing is large. Big miracles take time to build. When God gives you something great, He makes sure the foundation is strong enough to hold it. You prayed for elevation, but elevation requires endurance. You've asked for abundance, but abundance requires maturity. So yes, it's taking time, but only because it's worth it. When God says relax, He's calling you back to faith, not fear. He's calling you to stop fighting battles that belong to Him. Some of the things you're worrying about are already settled in heaven. Some of the doors you're trying to open are already unlocked, but God is waiting until you're ready to walk through them with peace instead of panic. You cannot receive what you're meant for until your spirit is aligned with peace. Look around at your life right now. You've survived things that could have destroyed you. You've made it through nights that felt endless. You're still standing. That's not luck, that's God. And if He has carried you this far, do you really think He'll stop now? He didn't bring you this far to leave you unfinished. The story isn't over. The blessing hasn't passed you by. It's on its way, moving closer each day. This is the moment to breathe again, to unclench your fists, to let go of the constant need to control every outcome. When you release it to God, you make space for miracles to move. God can do more with your surrender than you can do with your struggle. You are not alone. You are not unseen. You are not forgotten. The Creator of all things is mindful of you. And if He cares enough to color the skies each morning, He certainly cares enough to perfect your story. There's something sacred about peace. It confuses everything that tries to harm you. It weakens fear, disarms chaos, and silences doubt. When you walk in peace, your enemies lose power over you. Circumstances can shake, but you remain unshaken. That's what happens when your heart is anchored in God's truth. You stop being reactive and start being radiant. You begin to live not from fear of what might happen, but from faith in what's already promised. So let your spirit rest. Let your thoughts settle. Let your heart trust. Again, the path ahead may be uncertain, but the one who guides you is not. You don't need to understand every detail. You just need to know who's in charge of the details. God has written your story with precision. Every chapter is leading you to a place of fulfillment. You may not be able to see it yet, but you... And when that moment comes, when everything you prayed for begins to unfold, you will stand in quiet awe and realize this truth. Peace was never about the absence of problems. It was about the presence of God's promise. All along, he was leading you, shaping you, preparing. Every step, every silence, every season was for your good. So relax. It's not falling apart. It's all coming your way just as God intended. There are moments when God will lead you into a quiet place, not to punish you, but to protect you from noise that could destroy your focus. He knows that too much noise can drown out his whisper. Sometimes he separates you from people, plans, and distractions because he needs your undivided attention. It's in solitude that clarity is born. It's in stillness that strength is restored. When God says relax, he's drawing you closer to his presence where the worries of this world cannot reach you. There's a peace that only comes from knowing you are guided. Even when you cannot see the path, you may not know what's ahead, but you can rest in the truth that God has already walked before you. He has already placed what you need along the way. Every step, every turn, every delay is purposeful. Nothing is random when it comes to God's design. Even the detours carry destiny. You are not wandering. You are being guided. Some of you are holding on so tightly to things God is asking you to release. You think if you let go, you'll lose control. But the truth is, you were never in control. God was. And when you let go, you'll realize that peace was waiting for you on the other side of surrender. Control is heavy. Trust is light. When you choose trust, your heart becomes weightless, your spirit becomes calm, and your eyes begin to see what fear once blinded. Do you know why God sometimes closes doors that look good? Because not every open door leads to peace. Not every opportunity is ordained. God will protect you from paths that would have destroyed your spirit. You might cry over what didn't work out for that. No, his rejections are redirections. His delays are protections. His silence is strategy. You may not understand it now, but when the blessing comes, you'll see that everything unfolded exactly as it should. God's timing will never fail. You may think you've been waiting too long, but you're not waiting in vain. The waiting is doing something sacred. It's teaching you patience, molding your faith, and transforming your character. God is far more interested in who you're becoming than what you're getting. He's not just preparing the blessing for you. He's preparing you for the blessing. And when those two meet, your readiness and his promise, everything will align effortlessly. You have to learn to rest while it's raining. Faith is not about waiting for the storm to end. It's about finding peace within the storm. If you can rest in the middle of chaos, you've reached a deeper level of trust. The rain doesn't mean you're forgotten. It means something is growing. God allows certain storms to water the seeds he's planted in you. You may not see the fruit yet, but it's coming. The soil of your struggle is fertile with purpose. There's power in calmness. The world teaches you to panic when things go wrong, but faith teaches you to stand still. The world says, do something. God says, be still and know that I'm... That kind of stillness is not passive. It's powerful. It's not giving up. It's giving over. It's not weakness. It's wisdom. It's the strength to trust that what's meant for you is stronger than what's against you. Some of you are looking at your life and thinking, I've wasted too much time. I missed my chance. But God can restore what you've lost. He can compress years of delay into moments of divine acceleration. When it's your time, everything will move quickly. What once years will unfold in days. What was once out of reach will suddenly be in your hand. Because when God decides it's time, no power on earth can slow him down. You don't need to chase what's already yours. The blessing that belongs to you is not running from you. It's waiting for you to calm down and align with it. Peace attracts what panic repels. When you are anxious, you push things away. When you are still, you draw things in. The energy of faith is magnetic. When your heart is settled in trust, the right opportunities begin to flow toward you naturally. You don't have to chase, you have to align. Some people think faith means forcing things to happen, but true faith means letting things unfold. There's a sacred rhythm to divine timing. When you stop interrupting the process, you start seeing miracles manifest with grace. God's blessings never come in chaos. They come in peace. And that's why he keeps saying, relax. Because when your heart is calm, your mind becomes clear and your spirit becomes ready to receive. Don't be surprised if God removes certain things from your life as he blesses you. Sometimes peace requires separation. Not everyone can walk with you into your next chapter. Some people were only meant to play a role in your preparation, not your destination. When God shifts you, it may hurt, but it's holy. The very thing that feels like loss is actually protection. God's plan always replaces pain with purpose. You must learn to interpret life through the eyes of faith, not fear. When something falls apart, say, God, I trust that this is making room for what's better. When the door closes, say, I know you're guiding me to a higher place. When things slow down, say, I understand. You're teaching me patience. This is how peace is maintained, not by avoiding storms, but by understanding them. Faith is not blind. It's deeply aware that everything is working together for good. Every challenge is a teacher. Every disappointment is an instructor. Every heartbreak is a lesson in disguise. God uses what hurts to strengthen what's hidden. The deeper the pain, the higher the purpose. So when things don't make sense, don't panic. Instead, ask yourself, what is God growing in me through this? Because sometimes the blessing is not in what you receive, it's in who you become while waiting for it. You may not realize it now, but the peace you're cultivating in this season is a weapon. It will guard your mind when the world tries to shake you. It will keep you grounded when fear tries to uproot you. It will remind you that no storm lasts forever. Peace is your power and trust is your anchor. The one who walks with peace walks with strength that cannot be broken. So keep your head high. Stop doubting your progress. Stop worrying about how long it's taking. The blessing that's coming your way will make sense of everything you've endured. It will connect the dots and bring light to places that once confused you. God's plan is not failing. It's formed. You're in the middle of a divine masterpiece that's still unfolding. And when the day comes that it all manifests, when what you prayed for stands right before you, you'll understand why God said relax. You'll see that every waiting moment was sacred. Every delay had design. Every detour carried direction. The peace you chose to hold on to was not wasted. It was the bridge that carried you to fulfillment. So breathe again. Stand in quiet confidence. Know that the same God who created the stars is aligning your steps. He has written beauty into your destiny, and he will not rest until it unfolds. The blessing, the opportunity, the healing, the peace, it's all coming your way. It's not a matter of if, but when. And when it arrives, it will not only fill your life, it will overflow into everything and everyone around you. So now, as you stand at this moment in your life between what was and what is yet to come, hear this truth echo in the depths of your spirit. God is not late. He is not silent. He is not absent. He is working behind the curtain of time, shaping every moment, aligning every circumstance, and preparing every detail for your good. The pain you felt, the waiting you endured, the tears you shed, they were not wasted. They were all part of God's preparation for the blessing that is on its way. God says, relax. It's all coming your way, not because you earned it, not because you figured it out, but because his mercy chose you. His power surrounds you. His plan cannot fail. You may not see the full picture right now, but God never paints with confusion. He paints with purpose. What looks like chaos to you is perfect order to him. What seems delayed is divinely timed. What appears lost is simply being repositioned for something greater. The seasons of waiting were never punishment. They were protection. God was shielding you from what would have broken you too soon. He was growing your roots deeper before the rain came. And now that rain is near, the blessing is near, the shift is near, so do not let your heart be troubled anymore. Do not let your thoughts be consumed by fear. Stand in quiet faith. For the same God who carried you through the storm is the God who will lead you into the promise. When your mind wants to run ahead, tell it to rest. When your heart wants to panic, tell it to remember. Remember how far God has brought you. Remember the doors he opened when you thought they were sealed. Remember the times he whispered hope when everyone else walked away. That same God has not changed. He who lifted you before will lift you again. He who provided before will provide again. The same unseen hand that wrote your past will also write your victory. So rest not in what you can do, but in who God is. His word is unshakable. His promise is unstoppable. His timing is unquestionable. Every time you feel like giving up, lift your eyes to the sky and remind yourself the God who made the heavens and the earth has not forgotten your name. You are not just another life drifting through time. You are a vessel chosen by God to reflect His glory through endurance, through trust, through peace in the waiting. Let your calm be your declaration of faith. Let your peace be your proof that you believe. For those who truly know God do not panic in the storm. They rest in the one who commands it. They do not chase blessings. They attract them through obedience, humility, and trust. So walk forward now, not with fear, but with a steady heart. Walk through your days knowing that God has already ordered your steps. The delay is not denial. The silence is not rejection. It is God saying, be still. I am working. When others rush, you rest. When others doubt, you believe. When others break under the pressure, you rise under His hand because you know something they do not. Everything that belongs to you is on its way, and nothing can stop what God has ordained. Let these words sink deep into your heart. God does not tease His children with promises He does not intend to fulfill. If He spoke it into your heart, He will bring it to pass. But He will do it when your character matches your calling, when your patience aligns with His purpose, and when your spirit is strong enough to carry what He is about to place in your hands. You may not realize it, but every trial has been building your strength. Every loss has been shaping your vision. Every disappointment has been stretching your faith. And now you are closer than you've ever been. So today, choose peace over panic. Choose surrender over striving. Choose faith over frustration. Lift your heart and say, God, I trust you completely. Say it until every anxious thought bows to your faith. Say it until your soul begins to feel lighter. Say it until peace flows through you like a river. Because once you release control, you make room for miracles. Once you stop fighting the process, you start flowing with divine timing. And that is when everything begins to shift. Do not be surprised when doors begin to open effortlessly. Do not be alarmed when what you prayed for suddenly appears. You will not have to chase what God sends. What is meant for you will be magnetized to your faith. What once seemed far will come near. What seemed impossible will unfold before your eyes. For when God says it's time, no force on earth can resist it. So walk in quiet confidence, knowing that your moment is closer than you think. And when it happens, remember this moment. Remember that peace prepared the way. Remember that surrender unlocked the door. Remember that faith carried you where fear could not. Do not forget the lessons learned in the waiting, because they are the treasures that will keep you grounded when the blessings overflow. So go now with courage in your heart and calm in your spirit. Let the world see your peace and wonder what power sustains it. Let your life become a living testimony that those who trust in God never lose. Speak to your storms with authority, not from your own strength, but from the certainty that God is in control. Smile even when the evidence hasn't caught up to your expectation, because you know deep within your being that the tide is turning in your favor. And when the weight of life tries to press upon you again, when worry whispers that maybe it won't happen, stand tall and remember this truth. God says, relax. It's all coming your way. Every blessing, every answer, every opportunity, every open door, every moment of peace, it's already written. It's already done. It's already done. It's already on its way. So rest in that promise. Hold your head high. Keep your heart steady and let the peace of God fill every corner of your soul until you can feel it radiate through every word, every thought, every step. Now is your time to breathe. Now is your time to trust. Now is your time to stand still and know that God has gone before you. Let your life sing this truth, not in fear, not in striving, but in faith. Because when you trust the one who holds the future, you realize there was never anything to worry about at all. Relax. It's all coming.